Many of us dream of owning a classic car, a prospect only made more exciting if you fix and maintain it yourself. But running a classic car is a very different experience from a modern one. So Andrew Evanson, Senior Operations Manager at Lancaster Insurance, visited Ralph Hosier Engineering Limited to get some beginner's advice from the mechanical maestro himself, Ralph Hosier. He also brought his son Frankie to pass that passion for classics down the generations. The arch enemy of the classic car and its owner is rust. Nobody wants to buy a car with hidden rot, so here's where to look when you come to buy.
So when you get hold of a car, it's important to check for corrosion on the bodywork. And it depends on the type of design of the car where you're going to look. Every car's different, so it's worth doing a bit of research really to find out where to look. For instance, on these ones, the front of the sill area is often a problem. And if you look down here, it's where a lot of moisture starts to accumulate and it all starts sitting inside there and starting rotting this area out. We can see someone's put a patch on that. There's quite likely to be more rust after that. One of the problems you do get is if someone does a repair for MOT purposes, it'll be a fairly simplistic repair. And that'll mean the inside edge won't have been rust treated, so it'll just start rusting as soon as they've welded that on. So when you get little patches like that, you've always got to be suspicious that that'll need renewing at some point. So we'd have a look on there, give it a good squeeze and listen for that distinctive crunching sound. We would also look at the back of the sills, water coming off the back of the tyres there, pools in this area here, and it tends to corrode this area here. So you want to get your hand behind there and give it a good hard squeeze with gloves on. You also want to look at the wheel arches. Again, they get attacked by all the road salt and dirt coming off the wheels and the grip. If it's been repaired, that's fine. If it's been done properly, really cheap MOT fix will start corroding soon afterwards, and that'll lead to a greater area of corrosion into it after that. So if you've got a car that's got plastic sill trims on it or something like that, again, that can trap water in there and that can start corroding behind it. Now that might still pass an MOT because he can't see behind that plastic to do it, but you've got a weakened structure of the car, which is potentially dangerous. It's worth taking them off to have a look behind that and see what condition it's in. Other areas you want to look at are the footwells, the bulkhead. Again, that tends to get a lot of debris hitting it and start rotting through there. Any dampness you get in the carpets is an indicator that there could well be a problem. You really need to get onto the floor and have a look underneath and start reaching around there. Subframes can often corrode as well. So you want to check along those where the steering rack goes, where the suspension mounts on, make sure that's all in good order. If you've got a car that's got a separate chassis, such as an old Land Rover, you want to actually get up and feel the top edge of that chassis where you can, because often the moisture will sit right on that top edge of the chassis and start rotting through there. So yeah, give it a good thorough looking at, grab hold of it and check for any sort of crunchy spots. Wearing gloves. So anyone can learn to weld, really. There's loads of courses available for you to do that, and it's worth doing it just so you know what to look for, really. Sometimes people can weld things in quite badly, and that will start to break up over time and start cracking, and it'll be a temporary fix, but it's not a great thing. Doing it properly takes a bit more patience, a bit more prep work, and a bit more experience to do that. I think personally anyone who's into classic cars should really have an understanding of welding because it's quite so important, even if they never actually do the welding on the vehicle themselves, because then you can talk to other people about what you're looking at. It's a great skill to have, and it means that you can not only fix stuff yourself, you can create new things as well. The crucial thing is to make sure that anything that's welded in, the area is prepped properly. So much of it comes down to the prep work, making sure that the metalwork you're welding onto is properly clean, that there's no crud under the surface and you don't end up with contamination in the weld. If the weld's got a load of rubbish inside it, it'll start rotting from the inside out. And just because something's passed an MOT doesn't mean it's actually going to hold for many years to come. There's a lot more to it than that. So yeah, learn a bit more about welding. It's a good thing.
So check all the common rust spots and water traps, as well as any specific weak spots for your car, inspect the quality of any previous repairs and make sure that all welding is done on a clean, well-prepared area, whether you're doing the welding or not. Combine all that with some quality rust proofing and your classic will last the years.